Welcome back to another episode of JCS Projects. Last one, you saw us put together the motor, 454. That was a marine motor for my crew cab. We are taking this one down to Tucson, so we got to get something in it, and I need my truck back. But there's going to be a little interesting part to this. We're not putting carburation on it. We got a ACES EFI setup for it. Now, this is their wild card EFI setup for the big block Chevy. This one comes with this awesome fabricated intake like this. It is fantastic. Put together very nice. Unfortunately, I had video of putting this on and showing it to you before I put it on, but I lost that video, so we get a look at it from this starting point. It is a really nice piece. But it fit perfect. There was no issues at all with putting it on or fitting it or anything. The only thing you have to really remember to do is you just got to have small flanged or socket-headed bolts. Other than that, it fits perfect. It looks great. This kit comes with their 102 millimeter throttle body, which is absolutely massive on this engine. Man, look at that. My fist fits in the damn thing. I'll show you putting the fuel rail and the fuel system on. Me and my buddy Robert, he's here, and we're actually trying to get it stuffed in the truck tonight. We decided to go ahead and try to put the intake on it and try to put it in with the intake and the transmission. This may have been a poor decision. I don't know. We're gonna find out if we can get enough lift to do it and not hit anything. This is getting my 4L80E that I have because this system will control transmissions. You can get it to where it doesn't control transmission, where it's for manual or the old mechanical turbo 350 or turbo 400, something like that. But they do have the upgrade to where you can control transmissions with it. And the 4L80 and 4L60 are two of the ones that they can control. So I had a 4L80, so this truck is gonna be fuel injected with a overdrive transmission. So, which is great because the truck has 410s or 411 gears in it. So that's gonna make it a whole lot nicer going down the highway. But let's see how we can get this in. The bigger question with this is, will the whole thing get high enough? I think that'll get over. Sure as hell hope so. Boom, and man, where were you on that one? Right here, I watched it. Well, hopefully, with any luck, it'll just slide right in. All right, ready?
No. It's got breaking close.
I think we got a little bit more.
Right.
Oh, baby. Just barely. Ooh, there we go. Ooh. Nice.
Easy.
Now here comes the delicate move.
Yeah, up, down.
Up, down, without crushing things.
Down, boy.
Can you hold it?
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. I'm gonna go down just a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I think your damper's gonna be clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for now.
We are past the damper. This one's over.
Yeah, this one's, oh, it started over.
Oh yeah. How's that look, guys? Let's get a closer look. And that looks awesome in there. Oh, I love that intake. Guys, this is something I've wanted for a long time. I've wanted a fuel injected motor. I'm a big fan of electronics, but I'm also a big fan of the simplicity of carburetors. This is gonna be cool. I'm excited. But this is all the further we're gonna get tonight because it's late. He's gotta drive like an hour home. It is in, guys. I'll be back on this tomorrow. We are back out here again, working on the crew cab, affectionately known as Cruella. Today, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna mess with the fuel tank. We didn't show it, but my buddy Robert knocked the old one out. We'll show putting it back in. If you don't realize it, it's the exact same way, just backwards, to put it back in as it was to take out. So if you guys wanna know how to take one out, just do what I do backwards. I got a new fuel tank for these because you can technically use these non-fuel injected tanks, but they don't have a baffle in them. So if they get low on fuel, you got a slosh problem and could potentially have a fuel starvation issue. I don't want to do that. These tanks are cheap enough. It's like $100, and I got a 20-gallon fuel tank, which is what was in it. The new bed that I have does not have doors on both sides, so it's going to be running one single tank, which is what it was running before, just the passenger side. I'm going to put it on the driver's side. Another cool thing about these trucks are the tanks are exactly the same side to side. So you got to buy one tank, two tanks. If you have one on the right hand side, it uses the same brackets and everything to go to the left hand side. Vice versa. Doesn't matter, doesn't affect anything at all. Pretty simple. Beauty about that. I think they've got like a couple different sizes and a couple different styles. The different sizes I think is a 16-gallon tank, and those are usually, not always, usually in short bed trucks like this one over here will probably have a 16-gallon tank. The long beds usually have 20-gallon tanks. That's not a guarantee. You never know what anybody changes throughout the years, so, or what it was ordered, because I mean back then you could actually order things special. Now you can order from like 6 different choices and that's all you get, and 5 of those choices are what color the vehicle is. We're gonna show you switching out and what the differences are, and what we can do for your fuel tank and fuel senders and things like that. It's all going to be fairly quick overviews. I'm not going to go into crazy in-depth on stuff because well, I'm not an expert on it. I am going off of what I've read and seen to do on the internet. So this is just another spot for you to get that, because I don't know, I've never done this before. Seen it done, watched it done, never done it. So come join us and see what happens. This is just from the old O'Reilly's. It was much cheaper than that starter over there, which apparently from O'Reilly's now is made out of gold. So what this tank is actually from is a 1987 R10 pickup, because those years they came factory with a TBI, and with those you got a baffle. It's just a way to keep fuel sitting down in there whenever it gets low, gets quarter tank, and you get on the throttle, even normal movement, it sloshes to the back. You hit the brakes, it sloshes to the front. Leaves a big cavity here. It keeps that part full of fuel. That's it. You can run the sending units, which is also from a 1987 R10 pickup. It will go in either fuel tank. It'll go in the old style, it'll go in the new style. They all go together. You got a vent, which already has the vent in it, so you just run a hose. And then you've got a place to install your fuel pump, whichever flavor you'd like. And then you have your return line, which comes in here and actually runs down the stand and then goes in, or goes out, so it actually returns the fuel inside fuel, so it doesn't aerate and bubble the fuel. But these are just from R10 pickups. This one is a FG05M, again from O'Reilly. It comes with a new lock ring, some rubbers, some hoses, some clamps, just everything you need to put it together. I got this kit from ACES Fuel Injection, ACES EFI. They have pretty much everything you need to put one of these kits in your truck. And you can get regulators from them, throttle cable brackets, sensors for the actual fuel injection system. You can get extra sensors from them to be able to put a fuel pressure sensor, an oil pressure sensor, anything like that, because the system reads everything. Their ECUs are pretty cool. But I did get one of their tight fit in tank kits, and it was before I knew what fuel tank and what was going to happen. The only reason why I'm not using this whole sending unit is because the simplicity of the particular vehicle that I have. It's all, you can get everything basically plug and play for this particular vehicle. But the beauty of this is you can pretty much make this fit any fuel tank. It's got good instructions on what to do, where to put holes, what size holes to drill. Big thing is make sure you clean out any metal shavings you have. But it comes with pre-filters, a big nice absorbent sock, and these hold fuel. So even if you have a non-baffled fuel tank, this sock right here will help you help with fuel starvation. So it'll hold fuel in it. So as the fuel sloshes away, there'll be enough fuel to maintain fuel pressure until the fuel gets back to where it goes. So that's pretty slick. This right here is your actual sending unit. I think there are 6 AN fittings on the top for vent, return, and pressure out. What we're going to do for simple and easy is a factory pickup tube. I'll leave my fuel pump out here. Let me take this apart here. And sorry if there's droning noise in the background. It's like 102 degrees here in Kansas City right now, and I need a fan on. It's hot. This will sit right down nicely on there, and then we can zip tie this to our stand and then put a sock on the bottom of it. And since this is all measured out to the right height, it will sit down perfectly inside there. I'm cheating a little bit because of my particular application, but I can promise you this. This kit will be used most likely on that when I go to use it, because that probably is going to end up having a fuel cell instead of a tank. So that will get used, and we will get experience putting that in, which after reading the instructions, I believe is going to be a breeze. Put our little damper on around our fuel pump. That gets us to the proper size of the stand, so it sits in there real nice. We will use that one that comes with this tank. This has a nice rubber piece to keep that lined up at the bottom. Nice foam piece on the outside. And then we just tie that sucker in place. Put that down on there. There's my second one. And if you use this, make sure you use EFI rated fuel hose and actual fuel hose, because it's going to be submerged down inside the fuel tank. Both of those are things that you're going to want. Push the sock on. There we go. Now all I got to do is take a zip tie, go around the post, and make sure that sucker stays on there. Boom, man. It's nice and sturdy on there. Sock holds it in. It's not going anywhere. Let me grab some dikes and I'll show you how to crimp those without the right tool. So they used to use these type of clamps all the time on trucks. You just got to crimp these, take it and you bite on the side here and just slowly crimp it, and it pulls it in, and it's like a constant torque, and it crimps it nice and tight, and it makes it so it's perfectly crimped all the way around and it can't unscrew. But it's for a constant torque. It's even torquing. They make a special tool for them, but you can use a pair of dikes and just go to the other side and even the crimp up, and that's what goes. The special tool has flat teeth that bite here and a center piece that holds this down, and as you crimp it, it puts even pressure on it and holds it down there. But pair of dikes works just fine. Don't have to worry about it. So I will cut this. Oh, right there looks good. Get rid of that. Cut this. And if you have a high amperage, like a high horsepower system, you're gonna wanna go something different than this. This is gonna carry you stock up to, I don't know, I can't give you a number. I don't know performance stuff very well. 500 horsepower? 3 horsepower? I don't know. It'll run stock, no problem. Probably 400 or 500 horsepower, no problem. When you start getting higher than that, you're probably gonna wanna go with something that actually is made like this, performance oriented, and to support those kind of horsepower numbers. So all I'm gonna do is strip these back, and then we will strip these wires back. Man, it's hot out here. If I stay out here, I actually might lose some weight. Gonna have to go back inside. I can't have that. I got a look to maintain. So we take this bad boy and shrink her up. That's it. That easy. And now you can either butt connect your wires here or find the right terminal ends, put it on, ground that sucker. You got yourself an electric fuel pump, man. It's pretty simple. It's easy for the fact of it's made for it. So now my new thing to do is going to be get these ready, and I will show you that. So this I've never done, and you got to cut these barbs off. And the reason why we're cutting the barbs off is because we're putting compression fittings on so we can add 6AN fittings. I gotta try to bend this stuff up without messing any of this up or breaking the solder joints, I guess is the word I was thinking of. Whew. See if this little cutter will do it. People make this out to be like it just pops right off. I don't believe that to be the case, guys. Pretty tough metal here. Eventually it's gonna cut the end of that off. Alright. Got that off there. Take my deburr. Deburr the inside of that. Now probably the harder one to do. Hey, you know what works well for cutting that? My bandsaw. The burr's out and off of that. So this should then just slide over this. Oh, hold on. Before you do that, gotta put the end of your fitting on. Just slide that over. Then put your collar on. And now you can take your fitting, stick it all the way down on there, and as you tighten that sucker up, it's gonna crimp and compress. Now this next one should be a 3/8, and you do the exact same thing. Yahtzee! Now that's out of the way. Put that on. Put your brass collar on. Put your fitting over it. And again, as you tighten these up, it will lock down. Put your O-ring down in there. Fish all this down inside there. And it's only going to drop in one way. Now, I will tell you this. The part of all this that does make a difference on side to side is the cinder. So this has tabs that line you up right where it sits, right? If you have the wrong cinder, it'll still go in because the tank's made side to side. Your stuff will just face this way. It'll face the opposite direction you need it to face. Since I want this to go on the driver's side, we want this to face in towards the center. With this one sitting down in here, it's facing in towards the center. That part does matter what you do side to side. I'll take the screwdriver. Got this side until it is fully locked in. And now you have an electric fuel pump in a stock fuel tank. Alright guys, let's do a quick overview of all the parts and stuff that came with the kit that I got. ACES is sponsoring this guy, and I appreciate it because I've always wanted to do a fuel injection setup for it. This is the bigger, nicer 7-inch dash. They all come standard with the 5-inch dash, but it's got your handheld to put in everything. You can put gauges on it. You can monitor your fuel pressure. You can monitor your coolant temperature, RPM tach. It does even have a GPS speedometer. On top of the wildcard EFI setup that I have for this, I also have the quick draw transmission. So this piggybacks this system, and you plug it into your sensors on your transmission. It gives you your own transmission controller. They have these to piggyback existing systems of theirs. They also have it to where it is a standalone system. So if you're running a carburetor, but you want to run a 4L80 or 4L60Es, seeing as those are way more accessible and available, and the 4L80 is a very strong overdrive transmission, you can buy one of these kits that you hook up, and it gives you your sensors, your main relay. This system is for that. When we go to actually install it, we'll get more in depth. We'll get more in depth on all this when we go to install it. For one, I'm learning as I go, so I'll be able to tell you a whole lot more information on it as it's getting installed. But until then, that's what the quick draw is. This is the Wildcard EFI system, and it comes with, same thing, a nice, small, compact ECU. It's weather resistant. I wouldn't say it's weatherproof, because you still want to mount that out of the weather, away from heat as much as possible, away from electrical noise as much as possible, and you don't want it in like direct water and debris to get caked on there. Even though they're made to withstand it, you don't want a chance. You have a programming cable to use the laptop. See, it comes with a map sensor, which I believe is a 3-bar, 2 or 3 bar map sensor. Comes with an intake air temperature sensor, and then it's got a coolant temperature sensor fed right into your intake manifold. But your sensor harness is actually really, really nice. Really nice. I love the sheathing. I love the covering. It's got extension harnesses. It's got position sensors. It comes with a fuel pump relay. It comes with a sensor harness of blunt cut wires right here. These are blunt cut wires. This will have your AC demand. This will have your tach signal, your rev box. It'll have tach output. This one is just voltage for ignition voltage. This one's your fuel level sensor. 2 fan control wires, which you can't control the fans, but you can control relays that control the fan with this. It's got all of your injector plugs. Well, this one's your O2 actually, and it's actually heat shielded. But we'll dive deeper into this whenever we go lay it out in the truck. But it's got everything you need. You can get from them is a spark plug wire set, a Pro ignition coil, and a distributor. This one they have for all different engines, all different styles, different brands, depending on what you particularly need. So this one, you will set it to like 12 degrees before top dead center, and you lock it in there. And then from that point, the ECU will control your actual timing curve. Now their coil, it's again plug and play. It plugs right into your harness for your EFI system. Right here is a fuel line kit, and this fuel line kit comes with PTFE hose. It comes with a 10 micron fuel filter, bunch of fittings, bunch of clamps, and a check valve. That's the system. This is the Wildcard system with the distributor and with quick draw transmission controller. Now let's go to actually installing this thing, and we can go a little bit more in depth as we figure out how it goes together. Let's go put this together. Hey guys, sorry for the noise back here, but it is freaking hot out here. You're gonna have to deal with a little possible wind noise from a fan and a little humming from a fan. Let's start off with getting this engine jacked up in the position we need. I can get my priming tool, which is right there, cleaned off a little bit, hooked up to a drill, and let's get some oil pressure built up in this thing. Let's just pump this up and see what we can get to happen. Oh, there we go. All right, we just bottomed out on the floor of the truck. So that's as high as we can get it. So let's see how much space we have now. We've got all kinds of 3 or 4 inches of space. Perfect. Now with my big butt wedged in here and got my priming tool in there. I got oil, but she's priming up oil. So we've got oil flow. Oil down inside the valley here. I'm gonna prime this for a little bit longer, roll the engine a little bit, see if I can get it out coming all of the lifter bores. So far so good. When you're setting the distributor up for this particular engine, you lock the distributor in 12 degrees before top dead center. Now you can barely see them. I don't know how if you guys can see it, but this is 0, so this is 4, 6, 8, 10, and this tip is 12 right here. So I need to line this line up with that right there, and that'll give me 12 degrees. And then there's a certain way to lock the distributor in, and I'll show you that here in a second. But you gotta get yours to 12 degrees before top dead center. This would be after, this is before. So she rolls this way. How I made sure I was on compression is I rolled it over with my finger over the spark plug hole, and it tried to push off my finger. So that should be getting us to top dead center compression. That should be 12 degrees, and we should be able to lock the distributor in now. So we can put in the distributor. If you guys are looking for any information or you just want to do a little research on this, all of their installation manuals are on their website. So just go to the website, go to support, and you can look up all of their installation manuals. Scroll down here to distributor, and then it's got everything you need right there. 12 degrees before top dead center, it's cylinder 1 compression stroke. There's a number 1 written on the side of the distributor. So you install it to where the rotor is pointed to the number 1, and that should correspond with a number 1 on the, with one of the terminals on the cap here. It can only go on one way, and when you do that, you are locked in. But the beautiful thing about this is it's totally round. There's nothing protruding off the side, so you can actually spin this however, wherever, and there's nothing going to be in your way. The way I do it is I point the rotor at the number 1 hole, set it up, that's where you put your wire and everything. Well, this one you just set up to where the rotor is pointing at that, and then lock it down there. You've got a lot of options. Hey, that sat all the way down in. Alright. That's splined in. Distributor's all the way down. Seated completely. That is pointing at the number 1, which I like because that's going to put number 1 pointing at the number 1. That's pretty much how I put in a normal one. Even though this one can rotate all the way around, we can get it lined up however we need. But I like this. This is how we're going to run. Alright, just putting a little lube on the injectors. Sure, oil, anything will work. Lube definitely lets that slip in there nice. Got them all lubed up. Line it up on there. It's a nice firm push. Doesn't take much. Alright, so I think I've got my fuel lines the way I'm going to run them. So this will be my inlet. This will come from the fuel pump up the inner fender here, and it's just going to come and just loop nice right to here. And that'll go through this fuel rail, across the crossover on the back, up to this fuel rail, out this, run right down here, right across the alternator, straight down to that fitting right there. And then the bottom of the regulator has the return, and it's going to come and loop up. It's going to go down and up this, and then loop back around to there. So it's going to go from the bottom of the regulator out, then back up, and loop nicely to there, which will just be a rubber line because the return shouldn't have much pressure at all. So we have a few things we got to figure out. ECU mounting, wire routing. You like the rhyming? So this appears to be all of my O2 sensor wiring. This is fuel pressure, which I'm actually going to use as my oil pressure, because I guess right now they only have provisions for one or the other. Only thing you have to hook up to get this to work is, and they have to be hooked directly to the battery. You do not want to take this off of like the back of the alternator or anything like that. It's not just a 12 volt source. It's 12 volt power and ground, both directly to the battery. So red goes directly to the positive of the battery, black negative of the battery, and then you've got this small red wire, which is your ignition power, and you need this to have power while the engine is cranking. And this orange wire is your fuel pump power. Now there's a fuel pump relay and everything on there, and if your fuel pump does not run more than 15 amps, you can run your fuel pump directly off of this wire. If it draws more than 15 amps, they recommend putting it to a, well, they don't recommend. You need to put it to a relay and run a heavier gauge wire back to your fuel pump. So whenever I first got these and I did the engine before, all I did was spray paint over the existing primer coating that's on it, and then I ran it, and all of this is just flaking and falling off. So we're gonna do some quick sanding and then reshoot them silver, because I like the silver. I think the silver looks good. As you can see, I have my professional painting booth up. It's an automatic lift feature. It's for the Lazy Man edition. I also had to break into my licorice stash to be able to tie those up, but that's fine, guys. We don't need all that licorice. By the way, anybody that likes black licorice, that's disgusting. Little off thought there, but sorry, guys. Black licorice is nasty. There we go, headers done, ready to install. And then I'm gonna put my O2 sensors actually on the lead pipe, not in the collector. They said it needs to be within like a few inches of the collector, and then has to have like 20 inches or 10 inches of pipe behind it for it to read right. But I'm gonna have full exhaust, but I'm gonna put it on the first section, because both the sections on this are perfectly straight pieces of pipe. So I'm just gonna go back a few inches on the pipe that slides over, weld in a bung, and then I can clock it in whatever direction I need for it to work right. All right, so this thing is actually getting just straight pipes right afterwards. It'll have mufflers and everything, but I get to put a straight piece of pipe on it because of how much room there is. So what I'm gonna do is actually put the O2 sensor bungs in these pipes, so I don't have to worry about putting them in any certain position. I can just twist it since they're perfectly straight that come off. So the header will go back into here, and then there will be a clamp, a band clamp, here. So all I'm gonna do is drill the holes here, and then whenever you slide it in, since I can clock it any way I need, as long as the O2 sensor is not pointed up. You want them pointed down. There's a couple angles, but you want them pointing down so the moisture and water and anything will run out of it and not pool in the sensor. It looks a little different here, guys. We got to rolling last night and forgot to pick up the camera. All right, so this is a nice relay block that's got, get this out of the way, that's got 6 relays in it. So this is what I'm gonna run: a fan, second fan, fuel pump, and then that'll be like my ignition relay to power ignition powers. So this will be my ignition power block. So I might just put that like right here, right next to it. And then I will just run a power from one of these wires here straight to the power on this. So when this relay turns on, it'll power all of these fuses. Now we'll only be able to run 40 amps total out of this. Now I don't know what you could normally run, but that's fine by me. I shouldn't need anything that needs that much power. So it'll just run from here and then loop right up into that. And then I can run all my other ignition powers, things that need ignition, like the power for this, right off of here. And they'll actually be powered by my relay. So it'll be fused there, lots of fuses. So lots of places to fail. So that'll be exciting whenever it starts doing that. And then I'm gonna take this battery cable, run that bad boy up to, boom, run that bad boy up to right there. And that'll give me my power for the whole truck. Everything will power. That'll go there. And then I'll take these 2 terminals, route it all nice and neat here. And ground will go straight to that. Power will go straight to that. And then whenever I put my second battery over there, I'll make another battery cable that just runs from that battery straight over to here and put them in parallel. So now I'll have all my other accessories will be mounted over there on that side. So everything else will be nice and neat over there. And then all my stuff over here will be mounted nice and neat on this side. So all my ECMs and everything should be powered off of one battery. All my accessories and stuff should be powered off of the other battery, roughly. I don't have any of my covers on the wires because, again, I want to make sure everything works. But I'll end up wrapping all that so it looks nice. But all my extra wires, I have all my fuses to my relay block for my fan relays. There's 2 fan relays in here, my fuel pump relay and the ignition relay that powers this, which has the ignition wire hooked up to it. I mean, like I said, so far it's straightforward. It may be a lot of little things to do, but it's not complicated things to do, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. So far, so good. Look who has decided to show his face.
Hello.
Too big?
That's rude. No such thing.
He has come to do the hard work of radiator hoses and
this is all just
moral support.
This is above my pay grade here, so I mean, what is this? I mean, is this like supercharger or something? I don't know. They don't make no sense.
I thought it was a hybrid.
It's, yeah.
Is that where you plug in your Tesla thing?
It's
Where's the Tesla coil?
It's an overcomplicated fuel sending unit is what it is. But
I love ACES EFI. It's the greatest thing known to man. Scott, send me some plug wires.
Shameless plug. Oh yeah, you like how my intake air temperature sensor is just going to be dangling by the coolant hose because I don't have an intake right now. Like I have an intake, but I don't have an intake.
Oh, this has to go like in this.
It will go into the tube.
Well, this is ambient air though.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, well, it's just sucking in ambient air, so it should be fine.
This one might, you have to clamp down, but this might be the closest one for the...
Oh, I got one for the other one.
Well, for the water pump into the lower.
Yes.
Lower
Yeah.
hose.
All right, well, I'm going to go wedge my big ass underneath this thing and see if I can figure out a fuel line.
Yeah, you do that because I didn't come over here to do anything for real.
Well, that's convenient.
Take it a couple times.
What the hell?
What?
You had lights coming on, it's like neon or something.
You know, this confuses you, but yet you can operate a camera.
This is different. 35 millimeters.
This camera is set up by settings from some other person, and I just push button and it turned on. All right,
Did you ground that thing?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all grounded. So other than an actual belt to turn the alternator, which I feel is important on something that's fuel injected,
It's gonna be pissed.
I can at least turn on the key and see if we've got fuel pump action, fuel leaks, things of that nature. Because
You're gonna like look at things before you start it. Like you're gonna test things and make sure it's functional before you just go whole hog. I don't understand.
I was thinking about it.
Oh wow, I don't get it.
I mean, I've made bad decisions in my life too.
This is new to me, but I'm here for it.
It's strange, awfully strange.
Now I'm super nervous because I just keep smelling fuel.
There is a lot of fuel smell, but I don't see anything leaking.
You've been playing with a fuel tank.
Yeah, well, and you show my contraption,
Yeah, see, like you put gas in it before. Cody, I think you skipped a step.
I was just gonna drag it. I was gonna ratchet strap it up.
We'll put a sled under it.
Harbor Freight's furniture dollies.
Yeah.
Roll it right next to you.
I'll have to change the tires on it every 30 miles, but it'll be fine.
Do you want to get a belt first, or do you...
Before I crank it, sure, but let me
Cycle the keys.
see. Yeah, cycle the key.
Okay.
So
What's that thing?
I don't know, but it's got pretty lights.
Oh man.
Okay, do it again because I heard it filling a rail.
heard it filling something.
Yeah.
But then it shut off.
Spewing. Yeah, because it's only cycling for so long.
Well, leak at the regulator. I think it's the gauge.
Oh, the gauge itself.
I think it's the pressure gauge in the side of that.
You're now you're getting fuel up here actually.
So that means everything in front of that's okay, right? I mean,
Up to it, sure.
up to it. So all this will have pressure on it.
I don't know, what's the gauge say?
I don't know.
I put it in a really convenient
Yeah, I know.
location.
Yeah, what is the point of this?
What gauge that you can't read? What the hell?
Is that the gauge or is it the?
Body of the regulator.
Don't say.
Top plate. Top.
How much?
20 right now.
Wow, that's really good. You can read that down there.
Yeah, I'll just stay here while we start it. Well, I guess I should have probably put some sort of thread sealant on that, huh?
Yeah, like Gasol or something maybe. Or maybe just give it another crank. You never know.
Yeah, I think it'll just seal, right?
Yeah, when the aluminum shears off, that seals really good.
Hope I didn't crack the aluminum housing tightening up.
I'm gonna go with the Mr. Gasket gauge.
Hey.
Or ACES.
No, no, that was not an ACES. This is evil energy.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
Well, that's garbage then.
I did not get the. I wasn't able to get the fuel pressure regulator from ACES. They do have them, but I wasn't able to get it.
Okay.
So that's a 7/16. All right, doctor. What'd you do to fix the car?
I'll put some Gasola.
And gasoline. Gasolia.
On the threads.
So, we'll get in here. I'll take this here down here with me. If you want to turn the key on, No pressure yet.
I hear things.
All right, no leaks now though.
Got pressure?
Yeah, but we need to adjust it up. Okay. Since someone put this down here, it's convenient to see.
How do you adjust it with this nut here?
You loosen a jam nut and then
put a mystery Allen in it?
Yeah, in or out. I don't know which one. You're gonna waste all my film.
35 mil. It's not cheap. Here it is. I bet in is more pressure.
Probably. All right, you want to turn it on? More. More. Right. That's about 40.
How much do you want?
It says 43. So, little skosh more.
Okay.
That's about 43.
Color good?
Yeah.
All right. Why did you put this down here?
There was already a hole in the frame.
Oh.
I didn't have to do anything special. Isn't that what everybody wants? All right, so we got a belt. Look, woo, fancy. He's doing things down here.
Standard on a metric. Yep. Let's strip that out real good.
Make sure it can never be adjusted again.
Yep.
Well, I see no leaks anywhere else in the system. Let's check my fuel lines down here. Yep, they're good. All right, now I gotta sit and go through the controller and do all the initial setup on it, and then I can start where you put like your cam and all that stuff for mild or whatever. Do that initial setup, and then once we're that, it'll be ready to try to start. Oh, water. There's no water in it.
You need that?
Not to start it, I guess.
You might want to put water in.
Yeah.
You do this thing and...
You'll go get water?
I'll put some water.
I'll go pee in your radiator for you. All right, well, I'll go do the, as someone would say, the bleep bloops. See if I can figure that out. So I'm gonna sit here and start diddling my screen here. Now this is the 7-inch screen. They've got a 5, which comes standard with it, but I was able to get the upgraded screen. So it's actually huge. It is a really good sized screen. All I've done is turn it on and off a couple times to try to prime the fuel system and set the fuel pressure out there. Outside of that, I haven't actually done anything with this yet. So, wild card. All right, well that was easy. Aha, go up there. Wizards, start wizard. It is a stock motor, but you've got multiple choices, but this one is totally bone stock. So we just go stock, go to next, crankshaft. All right, so this one just has the only option is 8X for using their distributor. Engine type is a Chevy. Map sensor type. Map, I need to go see what sensor came with the kit. Hold on. All right, I went and found the box that it came in, and it comes with a AE1041. So that'd be that selection right there. Dual wideband O2s. I have dual widebands. It's got 8 injectors. How many can I go? Won't let you fire any more than 8. 4 to 8. Obviously 454 V8. 35 pound. I've got 80 pound injectors. You can probably, there we go. Just type it in. 80.00. It is a 454. Current 18436572. That's the correct one. Hot idle speed, I'll leave it 850. So that's just a breakdown of everything. Are you missing the hole again out there? Yes. He's trying to fill the coolant, and apparently he's got a problem. He's got the shakes today.
Not my fault.
Save it? Yes, I want to save. Turn the key off for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 7, 6, 12.
That's good.
Okay. Wild card. Map PSI 14.4. Very cool. Well, I think we're ready to try to start it.
I am the smartest man alive.
Hey guys, have to tune into the next one to see the final of this thing running and getting buttoned up. This video's already gone on a little bit longer than I anticipated it would, but the install went pretty easy. It's straightforward. It looks great. I really appreciate ACES for sponsoring this one and allowing us to put this on our truck. If you guys want to get your own system, anything, whether it's for an LS, whether it's just a transmission control, fuel system stuff, anything they have, use code JCS10 and you'll get 10% off your order and you'll get a free hat with your order. So go check them out. They've got good stuff, lots of options, and they're growing and getting bigger every day. If you guys want to get some of my stuff, JCS Projects, go to jcsprojectsmerch.com. Get yourself a hat, get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself some stickers. Anything that I got on there, anything helps. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.